my name's Dawn, I'm the Reclusive Crafter, and today is supposed to be No Waste Wednesday, but what I've got for you today is the final walkthrough of my Vintage Blue Hues Journal. So I also want to dedicate this video to Amanda at Scrimping Mummy. For those of you that aren't aware, this is Amanda's birthday week and month, and she's been very generous and given lots of freebies over her time. And she's given the freebie for the Christmas journal. So if you haven't seen that, pop over to her Ko-fi page and take a look. It is lovely. And as you probably know, I am part of Amanda's design team. If you aren't aware of her work, she does a lot of digitals and a lot of tutorials, and the membership on her Ko-fi page is literally £3 a month, and it entitles you to be able to download virtually everything free of charge on that £3 a month subscription. There are a few items that there is a little bit of an extra cost, and when I say a little bit of an extra cost, it really is nominal, but the value for money is absolutely superb. I would like to wish Amanda a very happy birthday. Thank you so much for all your support. It really is very much appreciated. And I would like to walk you through the latest journal that I'm doing. Now, I really struggled with the cover on this. I couldn't make up my mind what I wanted to do, and I came across Jane Austen's Emma in my collection, which was, as you can see, in blues, and I thought that would be absolutely ideal. So I've kind of altered this a little bit to make it work. I've put a little button closure on, which I think is really in keeping with the cover itself. I had to extend the spine a little bit, but I've extended it and I've put on some little extra bits there. It closes in and it comes out again, so it allows for expansion within the journal as well. And then on the back, I kept that relatively plain. Now, this is one of my stash digitals that I've got in my kit, or stash scrap paper actually, and I use that just for the back because it's obviously all blues. And then the closure, as you can see, is a very, very simple elasticated closure, allowing for that expansion as well. Although I'm not really sure you'd want to expand this any further. It is already a massive piece. So let's get into it and let's show you what I've been up to. So the first thing, I am really, really happy with this. So this is a little document folder. This was made out of an envelope folder, which was gifted to me from my sister-in-law. And I've put a little button closure on there, and I've embellished that with a few little pearls around the edge there. I've put a little dangle on for the butterfly, and as you open it up, I'm very excited about the inside of this. You open it up, and then this is a little bit of a nod to the book itself. Now, this journal kind of went in a slightly different direction. I've put a little nod to the book itself there, which was actually part of the book. I didn't want the entire book to go to waste. And then inside here, I made a couple of journal cards just from the little pictures that were throughout the book, which I just thought was lovely. And I thought they were very in keeping. The dress that she's wearing is sort of a blue, and then the gentleman here, his coat there is a kind of a grey blue. So I've done those two little journal cards in keeping with the journal, but as a nod to the book itself. And then on the back, I've just very plainly printed it and put a little bit of faux stitching around, and obviously the tabs at the top. So that's the start. And let's just pop those back into place there. Oh, I should have said I decorated this so that it actually comes down, so I didn't lose any of that page at all. It just creases across there, and there we've got volume 1, which is just lovely. I'm so pleased with how this has all turned out and come together. And then that closes up, and then we come down with the tie. We go once round, up and round, We get ourselves all tied up. And there we go. Okay, so that's the closure. And then into the journal itself. To be honest with you, there's not a huge amount of pockets, but they are so stuffed. It is such a full little thing to be working with. And here we've got a little triple pocket. We've got a couple of little tags there. And these are all from the kit. And then we've got another couple of little tags here. Let me just pull this one out. Oh, it's all a bit big, isn't it? Okay, we've got another little tag here. And this one has got a little tuck in there. And then there's also a tuck in there as well. So as you can see, there is just so much going on with this. And then they tuck back in there. They tuck back in there. And they tuck back in there. If I can get them in, which I don't think I can. There we go. So that's that one. And then we've got a beautiful big tag there. And that one's just being chucked around. That one's just for journaling on. And then we've got the journal card from the kit itself. And then we've got the 3-tier pocket there. Now, I am not going to bore you with putting all this back together while we're on camera. Okay. They just tuck in there, and then the other pieces tuck into the little pockets. Then we come over, we've got the belly band there. Now, those of you who follow me regularly will know that this little belly band here was done from all the little cut-offs that I have, and all I did was stuck them together and embellished it. And then I made a beautiful little journal card from a die cut, and again, just back that with a little bit of paper for journaling on. So that's that one there. And then this kit here, or rather this page here, was from, or the backing was from the Georgian Romance, I think that one was from. So you've got lots of versatility in here. And then this one's just been embellished a little bit with just little bits from the kit. And then we've got this little piece here, which has been done as a double pocket. So we've got more of the little tags going on there. We have got tiny little journal card there, which is very pretty. And then in the back here, this was a piece that I did just from some scraps that I had left over. And then that opens up like that. And then you've got a little belly band there with another little tag underneath. That's very cute. I do like that. And like I say, that was just made from some scraps that I had left over. And then that's the pocket that it all goes into. Just cut in half and then used and embellished as a pocket there. And then we've got a couple of undecorated pages there, one just for journaling and one just as a lovely picture, and another couple of journaling pages there. We've got a little bit of stenciling going on with just a tiny little bit of embellishment there. And then this was the pocket that I did with the torn edges, and we've got a journal card there just embellished with the little diamante pieces that I picked up along the way. And then this one was the postcard that I turned into a journal card, which has been hand stitched all the way round, and just a little bit of embellishment put on there with the little buttons and things. So that came out really rather nicely. And then that one tucks in there, and then this one just tucks into the middle section there. A little bit of journaling there. And then here I used the paper clip just to tuck in a little bit of extra, as if you need extra, if I can get it out, just to tuck in a little bit of extra journaling space. This is one of the pages from the kit, so I've literally just tri-folded that and popped it in with the paper clip. But on the reverse side, I'm actually really pleased with this. This is from Amanda's neutral pattern paper collection, But instead of printing it in the colour that it is when you get it, I just put it to black and white print, and it's come out with this lovely grey hue. I'm hoping you can pick that up on camera, but I thought that was really in keeping with the actual kit itself, and I just love that. I think that's really pretty. And like I say, that just clips onto the paper clip. The paper clips are double-sided, so you can use them on a left or right-handed page. Makes no odds. And then that just clips on to there. If I can just slip that on, and then you've got the extra journaling space there, which is lovely. Just a couple of, oh, I say a couple, this is the centre page, so you've got 2 pages there of just the kit as it is, and I just think that's absolutely beautiful. I think Amanda designs her kit so well. We've got a journaling page there, and a little bit of script page there, ledger page. Just a basic little cluster there, just to embellish the page. Sorry, couldn't think of the word then. And another journaling page there. And then here, oh, we've got a rather nice little tuck spot going on. So in the back here, we have got what was left over of the tear pockets that I did. And I just made a little journal card out of that, because do you know what? Who says a journal card has to be square or rectangular? So I've embellished that. And then we have got another little journal card there. This was done from a mosaic. I used all the bits from previous journals that I've done and made a little mosaic onto just an index card there to embellish that with. And then these are just things that you can find in all of Amanda's kit. So if you go onto her Ko-fi page, all of the bits and pieces that I've used in this journal are literally almost all from Amanda's kits. All the little butterflies. Here I just did a little bit of stenciling with a little flow of butterflies up the page, which I think really adds a lovely little embellishment to that, but still leaves room for journaling if you want to journal. And then this is the lovely I want to call them cathedral windows. I just think they're lovely, aren't they? And I made a little journal, I say a little journal card, a massive journal card, and just embellished that with a little bit of lace. And you've got room on the back there for journaling as well. Just a tiny, very simple little embellishment going on there, just with a little bit of layering. I've got 3 different papers there. So I've got a bit of the blue paper, the pattern paper, and then just the numbers up there with a flower embellishment there. Couple of I say very plain. This one's very plain for journaling, and this one is obviously part of the kit, which is just beautiful, isn't it? I just love it. And then here we've got a basic pocket, but in that basic pocket we have, this is Amanda's what do you call these? These are folders, aren't they? They're file folders. And I folded it up. I've embellished it, so we've got little bits going on in the front there. Folded it up, so we've got little tuck spot there, little tuck spot there. And then if you open it up here, you've got further little tuck spots going on there as well. And I know I have not put that back where it all was, but for now it will do. So we've got a standalone little tuck, and all I did was tucked it into the little pocket there, which is lovely, isn't it? Simple embellishment here, just with a little bit of this one was from the I'm really pushing myself here. The Diary of a Lady, that little bit there is from, and I just made a little bit of cluster from Amanda's other bits and pieces that she has available. And then here we've got the layered pocket. So we've got a journal card. That was one of the pages from the kit, which I printed 4 to a page to get that size. And that's just a journal card, which I did a little bit of coffee stenciling on. And then we have also got in here, we've got another little journal card there, which has been embellished. And we've got another little journal card there, which is just coffee dyed paper, and I don't think, is there anything else in there? I don't think there is. I think that's it. I think I need to check, because I've got so many little tucks and bits going on. I can't remember where everything is. Now, I've been working on this journal for so long, yeah, it's just remembering where all my little bits are. So that's that, and then that one slips in there. So that's lovely. And I just love the layering effect. And again, this is all from Amanda's tuition that she offers. She does lots of videos and tutorials. And this was on one of her tutorials about how to layer and to work with layering, which I think is lovely. Little butterfly there with obviously the gem little embellishments. And then we're into Signature 2. So Signature 2, again, lots of layering going on. I did use this. This was from one of Amanda's little freebies that she did on her Facebook page. So again, if you've not been along to her Facebook page, pop along and have a look at it. All I did was I've added the little buttons on there, as you would do with a button card, and just popped on a little bit of embellishment, and that's now made a lovely little journal card. I think that's beautiful. I love that. And then what else have we got in here? We have got one of the little embellishments, just with a little bit of ink on the back. Little journal card. It is a little journal card, a little bingo card. And we've got another one of the little journal cards there. And we've got a bigger journal card there. And we've got the layaway ticket there with all the stenciling going on the back. And I think that's all we've got on this one. So again, like I say, it really is a case of remembering where everything is, because there is so much going on with this particular journal, and I can't even remember where all this goes, if I'm completely honest. Goes in there. There's a little pocket in there. That one slips in there. And then these two little pieces slip in here for a little bit more layering, as if there's not enough. And then we put the little button card in there. Gorgeous, isn't it? So lovely. And this is why this has ended up being so chunky, because literally I took layering to the nth degree. We've got a little bit of embellishment going on there. I thought that was quite cute. Just putting the little gems there on the hands of the clock. I've got another one of these style pockets here with a similar journal card, again using the background papers from the kit, but I just did a little bit of stenciling down the side there. Very, very simple little journal card, and again just a little bit of coffee dyed paper on the back there, which by the way isn't coffee dyed, it's printed, because I'm a bit lazy, but it is in Amanda's kit. So again, if you don't have time to do all the coffee dyeing, or you're like me and just can't be flipping bothered, you can go and print it. It doesn't matter. Ha ha. I did another little paper clip here with another one of the pages from the kit, and again I printed the back of it with the patterned paper, just in ordinary black and white hues, but because it's grey, it kind of goes with the blue, which is beautiful. So that one goes in there like so, and it is backed as well, so if you wanted to, you could actually pop something under that side as well. I haven't done, I've just left that one as an embellishment. We've got another one of the little doily pockets, so we've got a couple of little journal cards in the front there. I've not even bothered embellishing those, because they just speak for themselves. They're lovely. And then in the back here, I've got a kind of a cluster tag going on within a tag. There we go. So that's that one, and little embellishments with buttons and a little bit of chiffon scarf, and as you can see, that is just journaling space on the back there, and they just tuck very nicely into there, and those two tuck into there. Okay, and as if that wasn't enough, we have another little page here with a little cluster. And here we've got the second of the belly bands that I made, and these were made out of scraps from previous journals that I've done. And I literally just used scraps, you know, even bits that I've sort of punched holes out of, and then just embellished it with little bits of fabric, little buttons, little gems, and it just looks lovely, doesn't it? That was all made out of what literally probably should have gone in the bin, with the exception obviously of the buttons and things. And then this, don't know if you've seen this one. This was what do you call this? This is a postcard sentiment that you would have sent through the post many years ago, and it opens up like so. But catch this out. Look at this. Isn't this just lovely? This is my interpretation of the one that I had in my kit, and I printed these little, these were postcards that I had, but I've copied them and made them into like a blue hue for the collection, and they're just all really old photos, which I just thought was lovely, and again very in keeping with the vintage blue hues. That goes down like that, that folds over, that comes across, and then you've got a little in tuck here where that comes over and just tucks in. I mean, how lovely is that? That's just beautiful, and that just tucks very neatly into the belly band there. Page just for journaling, and a lovely little ledger page there. And then we've got a very simple little pocket going on here, just made with one of Amanda's little checks. Little bit of layering there with just a bit of torn paper, and a few little bits and pieces going on there, and a couple of little journal cards. So that one is from the kit. That one I pulled out from one of the other offers on Amanda's Ko-fi page, which I think is beautiful. So I love that. Very simple, very pretty. Then we've over to the center, which is there. And then we've got another simple pocket, but what made this not so simple is another one of the little file cards that I did. So I've done another little stuffed file card. We've got 3 little items in the front. So we've got the 2 miniature journal cards, which you just print 4 to a page to get that size. And then this was Amanda's clipboard that she's done. And then in the back here, we've got a little label, I say a little label, a large label from the kit. That's from one of Amanda's kits off her website. And then this was another one of Amanda's. And again, do you know what? There's so many. I can't remember where they were all from, if I'm completely honest. But then that one tucks in there. Just a little bit of embellishment going on in the front. That tucks in there. And that tucks in there. In fact, I'm going to pop that one in the front so that we can see the wording. There we go. Pull that up a little bit. And then we've got the little clipboard and then the little miniature tags in there. And then that all tucks very nicely into there. Tra-la! How beautiful! Simple little decorated page there. It's not a belly band. It isn't anything. It is there just for decoration. And then journal page there, with the kit page there. Another little journal page and another little journal page, and another one of the pages from, I think this one is Diary of a Lady as well. And then journal page and from the kit. And then this was the second envelope that I did using the cardstock, torn cardstock, to give that design. And then these come out. I just used a little bit of layering to do the tag with. So we've got some netting there and some bits and pieces from the Vintage Blue Hues kit, and then journaling space on the back there. And actually I think that one goes in there. And then this was another one of the little journal cards that I made just from a little bit of cardstock and some of the embellishments from the kit, and a little bit of die cutting going on and lace just to pretty it up a little bit. And then we've got another layered pocket here. So this is another triple pocket, And if we pull this out, this little tag here is all layered up. So we've got a pocket in the front, just there. And then these are quite fun. These have just been attached using the eyelet, and then they just turn out like that. And you can journal on the back of them all if you choose to do so. And then the back of this was made from the offcuts. I made this from the offcuts of previous journals. So that one comes down, that one comes round, and then these two just tuck very nicely into there. And then we've got a little die cut there and a little tuck in die cut there with a little bit of a tag there, another little button as well. So that's that one. And then we've got this big one here, which I made this one from the Georgian Romance. And we've just got a little bit of embellishment going on there, journaling on the back. And again, this beautiful journal card, which is a lovely size, that goes in there. And finally, we've got the little bird cage, which I made just a little tuck spot on the front there to go in there. So that is that one. Aren't they just lovely? So pleased with how this has all come out. I just think it's beautiful. Little cluster going on there just to take the plainness away from the page. And then we've got another huge layer going on here. So again, another one of these journal cards, which are an odd shape and size. We have got another little tag there with a little pocket on the front, a little bit of embellishment going on there. And that is it for that one. So let's pop those back in there. And then we're into the final page, which is just the kit itself, which just is beautiful anyway. And then I did a second document pocket for the back cover. And this one, if I open this up to show you, there we go. And we'll open that up. And this one again, this is just a final nod to the book that I've used. It's got volume 2 on there. You may recall volume 1 was in the first pocket. And as we pull those out, again, I've just embellished them just a little bit with the bits and pieces from the kit. And then I've put faux stitching around the edges, and I've used labels all from Amanda's kits as well. And then the final little piece, which is this piece here, this was actually out of the book itself anyway, and all I've done is I've just added a little label up there, and this just tells you all about Emma the book. And I just think it's a really nice little tribute to the book, but so in keeping with the Vintage Blue Hues theme. I am really, really pleased with how this has all come about. It's taken me a long time, actually, much longer than I think my other journals have taken me. It is a bit of a monster, I'm not going to lie. It is big. I've embellished around here, but I hope you'll agree that it is beautiful, and I just love it. I just think it's absolutely lovely. And there are so many ideas in this journal that, you know, I would keep it forever purely for all of the ideas and things, because Amanda was doing the French vintage journal tutorial while I was doing this one. I was taking bits from that and implementing that in here. So everything Amanda does is very much interactive and interchangeable between her journals. So, you know, once you've got her kits, you will never be short of something to do with them. They are fabulous. They are absolutely lovely. You cannot go wrong with them. So that is it for today, my lovely people. I do hope you like it. It all closes up, like I say, just with the very simple elasticated closure. Couldn't think of the word then. Yeah, and it's just ready for use. So absolutely gorgeous. I'm so thrilled with it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Happy birthday, Amanda. Thank you so much for your support. It's really, really appreciated. And I will look forward to seeing you all again for Quickfire Friday. So take care, everybody. Thank you.